been on in a while, so that's why. So
It must be something about that Chi-Town, huh?
I'm just gonna go live and then y'all can just share it because it's not
It says we live now.
It says we're live now, so we should be actually on. We should actually be on. Good evening, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the hot seat. Super excited to be on with you guys tonight. Give us a second to share this to all of our platforms and we're gonna get the party started. All right. If y'all can go ahead and just, I'm gonna tag all y'all real quick and see if it'll let me. Jason Thibodeau, Charles Dixon, Ryan. Let me see if it'll let me do it. Dwayne. Okay, let me see y'all. Good evening, everybody. As you're coming in, give us just a second. We had a couple of technical difficulties, but we're gonna get this party started in just a minute. Ryan, Jason. All right, were y'all able to just share it to your platforms? Jason Henderson. Okay,
Yep.
1, 2, 3, okay. All right, so everybody has it shared, so we should be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I just did it through the actual thing itself. So everybody should be good. Y'all can all see me, hear me, all that good stuff. Everything's good. Can y'all see me? See me? All right, awesome. All right, so we're gonna get started. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. I am your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown, here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston. And as you can see, we have a group of amazing men tonight with us. Somebody got some background stuff going on, but we got some amazing men in the building and with us tonight. So excited about the discussion that we're getting ready to have for tonight's platform. Welcome in to everyone as you're coming in. So excited. We got some amazing, incredible leaders on tonight, and we're going to have a really fluid dialogue and discussion about what the ideal woman looks like. Now, normally I do the introductions, but tonight, because we have so many amazing men on the platform, I'm going to give them all 32.5 seconds to share with you who they are and what they do. We're going to start with our brand panelists who are coming onto the platform for the first time ever. And so we're going to put them in the hot seat first. Dwayne Williams Jr., welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. Please share with our community who you are and what you do in 30 seconds, please.
Hey, everybody. I'm Dwayne Williams Jr. I hail from the greatest city in the world, Baltimore, Maryland. Born, raised, and reared in this city, work in this city, and I love this city. There's no place like it. I am a host of a talk show host. I'm a host of a podcast, virtual podcast on IG called The Locker Room Talk, where we talk to men for 1 hour about life, love, and legacy. I'm also the host or the visionary of the Powder Room. It is the opposite of the locker room, and I have a co-host that will be leading that up, as well as a CEO and founder of a nonprofit called Pay It Forward, the movement. I'm just glad to be here today. I'm glad to be a part of it, and I love talking with the fellas. Let's go.
All right, awesome. Ryan Ford, welcome. Thank you for being here. First time ever with us. We appreciate you. Ryan, tell everybody where you're at, what you're doing, how you get it done.
I'm glad to be here. First and foremost, shout out to my brother Dwayne. He made the connection for me to be on this platform. So I'm looking forward to the conversation. My name is Ryan Ford. I'm a community leader, a pastor, CEO, have my own clothing line, a lot of great things that God has given me the responsibility to oversee. So I'm just excited about having this conversation. I do a lot of singleness coaching, things of that sort. So I think this is going to be dope, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us. Charles Dixon, y'all pray his strength in the Lord. He's been backsliding for a while now. We called him back into the fold. So Charles, welcome back with us. We missed having you with us. Welcome back. Charles, tell everybody who you are and where you hail and all that good stuff. I'm excited to have you back with us, Charles.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm Charles Dixon. I'm actually homegrown from this great city of Washington, D.C., but I am residing currently in Chicago, Illinois. By day, my Clark Kent Mark Kent gig is legal. I'm in the legal law field. Outside of that, I do a couple of podcasts, radio shows, musician, different things, furniture stuff, all sorts of little things I dabble in. But nonetheless, I really enjoy doing this, and so I'm glad to be able to get on here with my brothers and chop it up.
Awesome. Jason Thibodeau, talk to the people. Tell them who you are.
Well, I go by the name of Jason Thibodeau. At least that's what my mama named me, right? Hailing all the way from a little small suburb on the south side of Texas called Houston. Actor, writer, director, producer, author. I mean, wear many hats. Mechanic. I mean, hey, good with these hands too, So, hey, I'm just saying, resident class clown, at times. But, I like to get on here and talk some serious topics, kind of keep the flow going. And, just looking forward to having a good evening. That's what's up.
That's what's up. That is what's up. Jason Hendrickson, tell them who you are, what you're doing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Jason Hendrickson. I'm the senior pastor of Restoration Tabernacle, CEO of All Things Enterprises, which entails my clothing line, my dessert line, coffee shop owner. I am also the host of a podcast called Kingdom Conversations, which comes on every Monday at 3:00, where I talk to people that are making a difference in the kingdom as well as the marketplace. Published author and full-time dad, full-time husband. Just excited to be here with you guys.
Awesome.
Good
Dr.
stuff.
Adrian Woods, welcome to the building, troublemaker. We got to have a troublemaker in every family, and Adrian Williams would be that. Hey, Doc.
Yo, what's good? I'm Dr. Woods. I'm educator, podcaster, writer, lover. Former player from the Himalayas. But I understand now, and thanks to Pete Koffe, I'm a published author, be doing my thing out here. And I'll also be life coaching, and selling comic books, geeklife.com. Get your comic book on. It's like getting stock. Holla at your boy.
Very much so. All right, next up, we got Jason Williams in the building. Jason, holla at the people, tell them who you are.
What's up, people? This is Jason Williams, New York born and bred, residing in Seattle. I am businessman, musician, preacher. I do whatever God puts in my hands to do and try to do it to the best of my ability.
Oh, no, that's right.
And I've been blessed to everything He's allowed me to be able to do. I get paid to do. So I just say it like that. I'm just glad to be here, have fun, and let's get to this conversation.
All right, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Again, I'm P. Coffee Brown. I am your hostess with the mostest. If you want to know more about me, then you can definitely check out my page, connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and if you want to connect professionally, you can meet me on LinkedIn. And this is my show. It's called The Hot Seat, where we tackle relationship discussions and topics that affect how we think, perceive, and view love from a big perspective. All right, so tonight's discussion is, drum roll please, is there really an ideal woman? If so, what does she look like? Or there's a twist to it. Is this just something that men use to pull women in once they give them the preview of what it is they're looking for to lure them in the long run? Is it a game that guys use against women to get them to do what it is that they want done? So we're going to tackle that. We're going to tangle with that topic from all different angles, and we're going to get the gentlemen. I'm going to digress here, and the fellas are going to ignite the flame and kind of give us a real talk about this topic. Ryan, we're going to start with you. Since you're new to the community, of course, we're going to put you in the hot seat and go ahead and blaze you real quick, christen you real quick. But Ryan, is there really an ideal woman? If so, what does she look like? And we're talking about the big picture. We're not talking about just the shallow perspective of she got big boobs, she got nice booty, all that. Of course, those things come into play, but we want to get into the thick of things.
Right. I think, man, wholeheartedly, it depends. Like, can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay. Yeah, I think it depends on where a man is, where he's at in his life. You know, for me, it's not what an ideal woman looks like. Where I'm at in life is what an ideal woman sounds like. You know, the substance, it's the depth, it's the ability to pour, to build, you know, and to help me do what God has called me to do, particularly. So I think it really, really depends. Some guys aren't looking for, obviously, physical attraction is important, but sometimes when a woman comes into a relationship, she's bringing her finances, her education, all of those other things. But if a man has that, that's not really ideal to him. You know, it's more the peace that she brings. So it depends on to where a man is at in his life. For me, it's not what she looks like, but it's all about what she sounds like. Can you help me build what it is that I have in my hands? And so I think women got to be a lot more intentional when it comes to making sure you just don't have what it takes on the external, but there's no substance on the inside. Men are looking for women who bring them peace. And, you know, so I just digress. I don't know if I have a time to pass it on, but I'll start with that. It's the substance for me. It's the depth, and definitely something that I'm looking for.
Okay, so we're gonna go right into and kind of unpack what he just said. Since he packed it like that, Charles has put his glasses ministries on. My God, my God. Charles has put on his glasses. Lord Jesus. So we're gonna get Dwayne in the hot seat next. Dwayne, you heard what your brother said. Your brother, your family, your kinfolk, you heard what he said. So we're gonna talk about that. Is it really a woman's responsibility to bring a man peace? Isn't that your own responsibility? But if it is her responsibility, what does it look like?
Wow. You know, one of the things I'm known for is controversial talk. So I might as well start us off tonight. I've never been afraid to be me. So is it the job of a woman to bring a peace? Absolutely not. It's not her job. But I do think I want to put it this way. It's not necessarily her job, but I do think it is an attribute of something that she should possess, right? Because if we flip this, right, we can ask ourselves this question: is it a man's job to be this way? And we can say no, it's not his job. It's an attribute of who he is. I think that oftentimes what we do in this love relationship is we aren't honest about what we need. And kind of going back to what Ryan said, I think that the onus is never on the other person. It is on who we are as people. And if you heard him correctly, what he said was, I don't want to make this about who she is. I want to make it about who I am, because once I know who I am, then I can make the appropriate pick or the appropriate assessment or the appropriate thing to say, hey, this is what I need in my life. And so I think that we've got to just be honest with ourselves about what we need, and we got to make our need really so more about who we are and not necessarily about what we want. I've seen a lot of relationships go into what they want and fail in a number of months or a matter of years because we lived off of what we want versus what we actually needed. I hope that answers your question.
No, I want y'all to roll with it. I want to unpack what Ryan said. I like what he said versus how the look versus the sound. Yeah. And when he said sound, that kind of resonated with me. I was like, bless God.
Hey, Adrian
I got my hand up. I got my hand up.
Adrian, it's not your turn.
No, let him talk. Let him talk.
No, man, you gotta let me. I want to say something.
Listen, I want Charles to go first because he hasn't been on in a while. And then as soon as Charles goes, then it'll be your turn, Adrian. Okay. You're as important and as valuable as everyone else on the stage. I want to give Charles a chance since he hasn't been here in a while.
Let Adrian, if it's burning on Adrian, let Adrian spew it out. I can come back to it. No matter. Go ahead.
Whatever, I'm gonna do whatever y'all say. Is that how the sound's supposed to go, y'all? The sound correctly? I just digress and y'all just take it from there.
All right, you know, giving all respect to the pastor, but I think some of what he hit was some nonsense because when the woman is designed to attract the man. So I don't think with all the magazines and the videos, I don't think that's realistic. But some men, they like a BBW. Some men like them skinny. Whatever attracts you and gives you comfort is what you like. And as you grow older, when like you really like a woman's body is like the bait, like we fishing, they baiting. And so you see this, you're attracted to it and you go to it. But what keeps you is the mind, So and then as you grow older, if you're really in love and you're really with her, as her body changes, you adjust to the changes. Because, when my woman, she had them babies, her body don't look like she did when she was 19, but it's sexy to me. But also when I come home and it's been a hard day, my woman needs to be my peace, but I also need to be her peace at times. We best friends, so we gonna comfort each other. So it is our job. I think some nowadays we use these words like toxic and, you got to make yourself happy. You do got to, in a sense, but if your partner don't make your life better, what's the point?
Hey, nah, I wholeheartedly agree. And I know we're not throwing Bible in it, but the Bible says that two are better than one. So the basis of any relationship or friendship is, does that person make you better? I agree. I think I want to make sure I put it in context. It is about being attracted, but I think that's the danger in some situations, because we stop at only being attracted, and physical attraction isn't enough for longevity when we talk about relationship. The attraction is what gets you, but it's the mind, as you said, is what keeps me. And so I think the danger in it is that we groom guys through social media, through the vision, to be only attracted, but then after he gets attracted, he finds himself that frustrated or finds himself wanting out, because there's a million attractive women, Adrian. I can get an attractive woman at any time, but does this woman make me better? Does she believe in what God has given me? And so I think we got to make sure we bring both context to it. Yeah, be attracted, but make sure she got something that keeps you there. You know what I mean? So, but I agree from that perspective, for sure.
But also you got to think, I'm saying, if the woman, it's just like how they act. What a woman does to get you is also how they keep you. I'm not saying you got to have that 19-year-old body, but a lot of men, if you go from a size 8 to a size 22, that's going to be a problem.
But Woods, I don't care how big her butt is, how big her breast is. If that woman isn't peace, if she is always
she's a problem if she ain't peace.
She's a problem. But also, I'm gonna tell you right now, my wife's boobs, you know what I'm saying, that brings me peace.
My God, this
and I just lay my head in them pillows and it just makes my life just better.
Hold on. Hey, Ryan, here's the thing. Hey, Adrian. She brings you, that brings you peace because she is peace. The attribute.
Have you met my wife?
Listen, and no matter what you say, the attributes of her bring you peace because she is a level of peace. We're not talking about the fact that she gets on your nerves. Listen, we understand this. We all got a mother. We love her. I can look at everybody on here. We love our mothers, flat out. Nobody gonna do nothing to her, right? But she still gets on our nerves sometimes. But guess what mom still is at the end of the day? Peace.
You ain't met my mom either. So this is what I'm saying. It's like you have to see, there has to be some part of you. There has to be attraction, because saying sexual attraction motivates a man. Yes, you need to be mentally there, but sexual attraction motivates a man. You see a fine woman, you're gonna step your game up because she's fine. You're not gonna go to that saying that what the problem is right now, women just take whatever. So they look whatever, they shake their booty on social media. That is unattractive to me as a man. But these young kids, they like it. So you got to think, in medieval times, a plus size woman equaled wealth and prosperity. So we're looking at the times we live in. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really look at the times we live in. I know I'm a doctor, so I'm gonna look in history. I'm my bad.
Yeah, let Charles get on it here, Adrian Woods.
Oh my Lord. Well, here I'll come from a different angle. I feel as though, I know we're saying, is there really like a type for men and this, that, and the other, but honestly, there's really one woman that a man chooses. The rest are the women that choose him. This is where the issues and the infidelity falls in, because when he's made his decision, he's chosen her. A lot of times she becomes the envy of them. And them are the ones who decide to choose him, pursue him, and all that. But typically, when men make a decision, he's making a decision based off his ability to blend his life with hers. Basically, like my man Dwayne said earlier on, peace. Can that peace blend be there? Can our lives move and like synchronize? Can we kind of flow, or is it like water, sandpaper? I mean, men like smooth transitions. People who, you want the person who's really just going, like you said, you want the trade off of support. You support her, she supports you. There is no competition, and basically the person who's going to make life, I'm not saying be unrealistic, but realistically easy for you, and until those curves come where you have to deal with problems and the normal issues of life. But typically, if it's unnecessary stuff and unnecessary drama, men typically want to steer away from it. Now, I hear your mind running through Koffe. You're saying that don't stop them from doing this, that, and the other, because there's a difference.
You see my brain?
Men can separate their decision from their interim. See, their decision is the person that they're choosing for the long haul, and the interim is the person, like you said in the book, the placeholder. But that's just life, It's really.
And there's a reason why men stray, because if you're not getting it at home, you're gonna go find it somewhere else. There's nothing better than coming home. What I'm saying, your wife made you a sandwich and she's wearing that little sexy, whatever she wear, nothing fancy, just some shorts and a t-shirt. That attraction, I'm saying, keeps the man going. Like, think about it. My mama told me it's a man's job to chase and a woman's job to be attainable, but not easily caught. And a man will step up his game for what he wants. I'm saying, but he has to want it first.
Woods, I'm trying to follow you, man. I'm making sure because at certain points I'm all in with you, but in certain areas I don't know. I need so are you saying that the physical attraction is more important than the piece that she brings to a relationship?
No, I'm saying both are equally important.
Okay. Because you talk breasts being peaceful and all, and I get it, but at some point them breasts ain't gonna be as peaceful as they are right now. Praise God.
I've been married for 20 years, and for 20 years, they've been peace.
Lord have mercy. Thibodeau.
What's up?
Come on in.
Hey man, I'm just enjoying the conversation and stuff. But I mean, I agree with Woods. I mean, I agree with most of the guys on here. Don't get me wrong. But I agree with Woods because, I mean, he's bringing it back to the initial attraction. Well, yeah, you got to look like something to get me, attracted and get my attention at first. But I agree with the other fellas as well. You being at peace and you being driven or whatever it is that man really thinks that he wants or at that time out of that relationship is what's going to keep him there. But it all does start with some type of physical attraction, especially as we start all getting a little older and everything else. You know what I mean? So yeah, like Wood says, after a couple kids, yeah, her body might change a little bit. Hell, mine has. You know what I mean? I don't look like I did when I was 19 anymore. I got about 40, 50 pounds. I'll gift somebody real quick. I don't even want to lose it. I just want to gift it to somebody. They can have it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that, as we all change and everything else, that peace and that lack of drama and everything, that's what's going to keep a man there. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that you just let yourself go either. I mean, if what it took to get them is what it's going to take to keep them. If you was cooking at first and when you was doing your campaign, and yes, I did say campaign because, we all campaign at some point. So if you was cooking and cleaning and doing whatever when you was campaigning, keep doing that crap. You know what I'm saying? Because once you stop doing it and everything, he gonna stop feeling appreciated. Wow. And everything, so when he comes home, then he gonna be looking at you a little sideways. You're gonna be wondering why he looking at you across the room, with that little evil eye. And you're gonna be acting like, well, I'm home. Yeah, okay, well, you home, but you ain't doing what you used to do. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into that. I mean, it's not just so when you say at peace can mean a lot of different things. It depends on where you are at that time. Like for me, I like women that are driven. You know what I mean? I like women that are driven, not overly independent, but independent to where if I'm not around, they can at least get something done, right? Some type of business done or whatnot. And being able to talk whenever we have a disagreement. And so, I mean, we're not going to always agree, but at least there doesn't need to be drama, hands all up in each other's face, all that crap. and everything else, we ought to be able to sit down and have a discussion. We ain't got to agree. We just have to have respect for each other. So there's a lot of things that go into that piece that my brother over there was talking about.
Pastor Henderson, Jay Hen, we're gonna just call you Jay Hen for the sake of argument tonight.
Yeah, we got all these Jasons on here tonight.
He waiting. Come on, JJ.
How many Jasons do you know?
Watch your stuff.
Too damn many.
Watch how you handle me. All right, so we're gonna have Pastor Jay, and then we're gonna go to Jason Williams, and we're gonna double back to Dwayne and Ryan. So we're gonna ask Dr. Adrian to hold your peace just temporarily. And then we're gonna get back to you, because I know you're having a full body anointing on this subject, because when I said we was gonna talk about it. So Jay Hen and then Jason Williams, we're gonna double back to Dwayne and Ryan, because I love what I feel like Ryan is pushing the conversation into a great kind of like a good debate, a good, healthy, strong debate. So I want to, once y'all get done, I want him to push back on something else to push the debate even further. But Jay Hen.
Yeah.
So how important is the physicality in all this? Let's keep it 100. How important is the physicality?
I think it's very important because we are creatures of sight, and for us to pretend that it's not important is crazy. But we don't need to make that the foundation of the relationship, because, like we said, the physicality will change, and there's nothing worse than seeing a gorgeous woman with no substance, that doesn't understand her responsibility. Because when you talk about male and female, we got to go back to the intent of the creator of male and female. And there were specific assignments that were given to both of us. And we've kind of deviated from that. That's why the world is so unbalanced, because you have women that are doing the responsibility of men. You have men that think they're women. You have women that think they're men. The whole thing is crazy because we have deviated from the intent of the creator. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care who your God is. All of us were created to be relational. And until we become okay with that, and being relational means that I'm attracted beyond the outside pulchritude, because any real intelligent man is a sapiosexual, which means that I'm attracted to your intellect as well as your body. You know what I mean? And if there's nothing that we can hold a decent conversation past your physicality, you just a jump off. And women need to understand that men will play with that type of girl, but they'll never commit to that type of girl.
Right.
And as an individual, as a young lady, you have to make up your mind. I raise my daughters to think like this. Any man that comes into your life is an addition, not a necessity.
Right.
Because they have to understand that I'm able to stand on my own too, because of the type of father that I had. My father was an example of what it is to get up and go to work, take care of his family, to talk with respect, not all the time, because sometimes, raising these kids, everybody's mad at Kirk Franklin, but I ain't mad at Kirk Franklin, because, you got teenage kids, they will try you, you know what I mean? But as long as we don't get away from the intent of the creator, whenever you're dealing with anything, it's always important that you deal and you stay with the intent of the creator if you want that thing to be successful. We have to define that from the intent and the heart and the mind of God. It doesn't matter, again, what religion you are, if you want to talk Bible or not. What was the intent? Because we didn't get here from apes. We didn't develop out of rocks. We were created by God. And what was the intent? And why did he partner? Why did he look at everything that God made? He looked at it and said it was good. But when it came to man, he looked and said, it's not good, because we were alone. And God did not birth woman to come into our lives to stress us. He birthed woman to be a helpmeet, to come and operate in the power of agreement, alignment, and aggressiveness for our structure, for our structured relationship. And any woman, I don't care how pretty you are, because that's going to fade away, because there's always going to be somebody prettier. There's always going to be somebody with a bigger butt, somebody with longer hair, somebody that has different eyelashes. None of that matters if you can't align, agree, and become aggressive about what I've been called to do. And this is where the woman going to get mad as your head, because you're not my equal. You're not my equal. And we need to get that back in line too, because with the whole women's lib movement, we've put women in the same boat as I'm equal to you, and you're not. You're the weaker vessel, and you need to be led by a real man. And I know that's not popular amongst the young ladies, but it's the truth. You're not my equal. I am the head of the family. If God wanted to be it the other way, Koffe, you would be the head, and I would be following
Hey,
you.
don't call me out. Don't call me out. Don't call me out.
I'm just saying.
I'm just here for the comments.
I gotta use you because you're the only female here tonight.
I know,
So
I know.
that's what. So now we putting you on the hot seat.
My God, my God, my God.
But you know what I'm saying? We can't deviate again from the intent of how God wanted it to be. And that's why everything is so imbalanced, because everybody's doing what they're not supposed to be doing. You don't have to compete with me. Your job is to complete me, not to compete with me. And until women become comfortable with that, knowing that that is your God-given assignment to come and be a helpmeet. Now, if you connect with a guy that has no vision, a guy that's a clown, a guy that ain't about nothing, then that's on you. But when you connect with a real man that has vision, that has destiny, that has work ethics, your job is to not come into my life and lose yourself. But your assignment is to complete what I'm doing, and then we can complete what you've been called to do. But somebody got to go first.
Hey, Koffe, can I say this real quick? Because I know Adrian is ready. I see it over there.
Adrian in time out until Jason Williams say something. But you go ahead, Ryan.
I just want to bring some context to what I said. I think we all agree, every man on this platform agree, looks matter. Absolutely. That's, physical attraction is very important. But I'm writing a book now on 3 women you should stay away from. And the first woman is a beautiful woman who brings nothing else to the table. At that point, you become a liability and not an asset. So looks matter, but that she brings to the table. I just want to throw that in there because I don't want you. Physical attraction is definitely something that we look for, but it can't be the only thing. So I just want to throw that in context.
Jason Williams, come on in the building, because Adrian over there itching for a scratch, but it ain't his turn until after Dwayne goes again. So he over there holding his peace and letting the Lord fight all his battles. Bless his heart. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, with everything that everybody has said, I truly concur, even from the different aspects. Now, from my understanding and from my few years on this earth, there is no ideal woman. There is no ideal man. Because ultimately, I've seen situations where people will be whatever you want them to be in the beginning of a relationship. So how can I say who you are if what you've shown me is a lie? And I'm just talking about what I know. And I think honestly, as most of us would that have been in relationships or are in relationships know, your relationships change as you grow older. So I would just want to throw out there, the ideal person is the person that understands who you are, but is willing to grow and change as you grow and change. Because sometimes people get stuck in, well, this is the way we started. How come we can't stay right here? And it's like, well, growth has to happen. Change has to take course. The only consistent thing in all of our lives is change. Things are going to change outside of our lives. Things are going to change inside of our lives. I'm on the verge of 50 and my body is telling me every day, dude, you can't do what you used to do when you was 20. I can't run like I used to. I can't lift like I used to. There's a lot of things that my mind says, dude, you got it. My body says, try it if you want to. Same principle when it comes to relationships. There are some things you're not going to be able to do in your 40s and 50s that you were able to do in your 20s. Is that still cool? Because some people don't grow up. So for you to be my ideal person when I'm in my 20s, you may not be. We may grow completely apart by the time I'm 35. So the reality is the ideal person is the person that has the mindset and understands where we are right now is not where we're going, but you got the somebody with vision enough to see where we're going, I still want to be a part of and stay committed to that.
Makes sense to me.
Hey man, I think you hit on something real big, because you brought up the number one reason why a lot of relationships fail is because people go into it with their damn representative instead of being themselves. If you was yourself from the get-go, you would realize whether or not y'all actually going to work or not. Because you're sitting here putting on this front, trying to look a certain way, and I'm talking about for both men and women. Right. You know, you trying to look a certain way, you trying to be cool, you trying to be this, that, and the other. And really and truly, it's when you show up and you're that person, you're not you.
Right.
And a lot of people don't get it. They don't catch on to it and everything else. I've worked as a loss prevention consultant for a long time. So a lot of times when I show up and they show up and I start seeing them put on that show, I'm like, hey, hold on for a second. Who are you? Tell me who you are. I see this and you look great, smell good, got a perfect smile, everything else, but who are you? Right? You know, are you this shy person that you're putting on to be, or this loud person that you're putting on to be, or whatever the case may be? Who are you? You know what I mean? So really and truly, if you want most of these relationships to work, I would definitely say, especially for the ladies, don't have the representative, because most brothers are going to show up, and I hate to say it, a lot of us are preconditioned to try to put our best foot forward. So they may not always be real, but you don't have to do that. Lady, you know what I'm saying, ladies? Be you 100%. I would expect the brothers to sit there and be themselves as well. But you know how society has a tendency to push people to be a particular way, like you got to be a baller or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But really and truly, man, be your damn self. Let's raise for offering.
I don't think anybody.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I don't think anybody shows up.
Keep your mic open, Dwayne.
No, I don't think anybody shows up initially without their representative, male or female. I think because of how we think people want us to be, or what's the perception we want created, that's what we present, you know. And it's not until you spend time with people that you really find out what they're about, you know. And we don't ask the right questions when we first start, you know, kicking it to somebody. Things, you know, as a pastor, you know, when I'm doing marriage counseling, I dig into it. I'm like, okay, what's your credit score? You know what I'm saying? Have you got an HIV test? You know, these are things that you need to be asking. And some people, because we're so caught up with the outside pulchritude that, oh, he's a baddie, he's fine, he's 6'4", he got muscles and bald head and all that. That ain't gonna pay no bills. that's not gonna buy no formula for them kids. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really look beyond that, because I don't want nobody coming to me without a representative. That means you really think something of me, but don't think I'm silly enough to think that I believe that that's the real you. I'm gonna dig past that. I'm gonna look past that, because I want you to think enough of me that if I'm taking you out, do your hair. You know what I'm saying? Don't come looking like Busta Rhymes and all that. No, do something. Do something with yourself. And it's not just for the young ladies; it's for us too. You know, because we're real hard on females for their bodies changing. But like Jason said, our bodies change too. You know, and our women, they deal with us having preacher guts and beer bellies and you know, all that stuff. And you know, they remain faithful to us. But when the slightest storm or issue comes into our relationship, we use that as a crutch to be unfaithful to them. And I think that's where it's unequal at.
I'll drink to that.
Hey, you know, and if I can hear the question one more time, Koffe.
Right, because you was having 5 other conversations.
Well, no, I'm over here on IG Live getting them involved in the conversation as well, and they actually
these comments are going hard.
Yeah, they actually said they loved the conversation, fellas. They thought you was what's that cat name? Derek Jackson, Jason. They thought you was Derek Jackson talking. I said no. I said no. It's not him. It's not him.
Don't bring him on him. Bonnet, man.
I said no. It's not him. It's not him. But I want the question again, because I want to make sure I answer it in its full context, because I think I'm gonna have a slightly different answer here.
Okay, what happened was, while you were doing the IG ministries, hey IG people,
Right.
So Ryan kind of put in perspective, when he started in the inception, I think we may have misinterpreted that he wasn't saying that the physical part wasn't a component. So he came back and said, yeah, the physical component is definitely a necessity. It's just not everything. Yeah. So then my question was, how important is the physical aspect of the partnership for quote unquote the ideal person? Even though Jason took us on Jason Williams just flipped the whole chairs upside down.
Well, he got my last name. He got Williams. So anybody with Williams, we're controversial. Yeah.
Okay. So, how important is the physical? Is it so important that you cannot forfeit that in the inception to say, okay, this woman has got all the peace I can find, but she don't have the breasts I've been after for 22 years.
Well, but I don't so Koffe, I don't think that we conceptualize it like, oh, because she has double D, she's more valuable than a C cup, right? I really think that it's the total package for us, right? It's a total package, because we understand that everybody is shaped differently, and we get that. Is the physical component, does it weigh heavily with us? I think so. I think that it weighs heavily with us when we see who she is to us, right? Because I think it was, who's this down the bottom here, Jason Williams. He said, look, if she got a bad attitude, I'm probably over that. And I'm gonna be honest, as a male who has had a plethora of different ethnicities, one of the things that immediately threw me off about certain women was their response to reality, right? If they thought that the world just revolved around them and that was it, I was done. Like, I ain't want no part. Like, and can I be honest for the fellas on here, and we're gonna really tell the truth, in that dating stage, whether we were saved or unsaved, if we saw her and she was bad and we knew she had a bad attitude, we might still try to amen somebody. Amen somebody. But yeah, that's why everybody's smiling now. We might still try to amen.
You might get a touch up, yeah.
But we're not
with the old reach around,
right? But we're not gonna get into a committed. And I'm gonna say something. I hope this disrupts every live that's watching. Men, oftentimes I heard a woman say, "Well, why would men get married to me if he's not going to be faithful?" Because faithfulness is not a result of love. It's a result of discipline. Do you realize that as a child, I was disciplined to my mother? I failed my mother's rules a lot, but I didn't stop loving my mother. I just failed her rules. Right. And the reality to that is that there are so many people who don't understand that most men marry you because they really, really want to be with you. They just may lack discipline in an area. And I think, and vice versa. Most women, when they really marry you, they want to be with you, but they may lack discipline in an area. And I think what we've got to start doing as people, because I love even what Jason Henderson said over here, I think we've got to start looking at everything, start having discussions about everything. Because I also don't want to labor on the part about, can he pay bills? Can he do this? Because I've seen that. I've seen men who can pay bills, but he treats you horrible, right? I've seen men who couldn't pay bills and they play games. I think we just got to start having more honest, real conversation. We've got to keep talking about, well, what you do for a living? Well, this is what I do for a living. What you do for a living? No, we got to ask tough questions, and we don't have to give it to them all in one day. Let me be honest, because I think when we start saying have tough questions, Ryan, females come to the dinner with like all the tough questions. The first date, they got all the tough. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me see if I like you first. On the second one, AJCN, AJH. On the second one, give me another tough question. Don't pull them all out in one day. And I think we just got to be honest, man. And this is on both sides of the track. We got to be honest, because as much as we can sit here and say, hey, men, we haven't been honest in this area, but there are some women who have gotten with men because they've been handsome, but they knew that he was struggling financially and they didn't like it. And they still tried to get with him. And then when he kept failing in that area, it was like, oh, he bad meat. He spoiled meat. No, he wasn't spoiled meat. You saw it early. You chose to deal with it, and now you got to deal with the reactions of you got to deal with the consequences of your actions. And I think that there are so many people who don't want to deal with the response to their actions. I know this might sound hard. This might sound like I'm trying to cut somebody. I'm not. I'm just being honest. My actions, I got to deal with it. If she's saying no, I don't want to be with you no more because you cheated, I got to deal with it. If he say no, we just got to deal with it, man. And I think part of the one of the hardest things for us to do is to deal with those actions. And I think this is why we're at this place of so many great people. I can't speak for them because some of them might be married, but so many great people who are still single because we won't deal with the truth of who we are.
So we got.
There's a lot of married people that won't deal with the truth of who they are.
I mean that too. That too, JT. But I'm talking from the single perspective. You know, a wise man told me, "Stay in my lane." One day, I'm just staying in my lane. I'll let you say that. I'm staying in my lane.
You know, King Koffe, can I say something?
Go ahead.
You know, if everyone is listening, you can see how even though there is one, two, is like 6 of us. But each man has his own perspective, right? All of us, we think different, but we have a lot of similarities. But what I've learned over time is men have the most complicated shells. Internally, we are really, really simple creatures. I'll tell you what I mean. Perfect example, when I first saw your topic about tonight, you know, your mind goes to of course, the external. What is a man ideally looking for externally, and what is he ideally looking for to complete his life? You can learn a lot hanging around in the barbershop. Perfect example. You sit up in the barbershop, let all of us sit up in there. Let 6 different ethnicities walk by, all the same thick, curvy shape. Every man in there gonna turn his neck and look.
We're gonna break it down.
Right.
We're gonna break it down.
We're gonna have conversation. So listen, that breaks down the type stuff. Because that breaks down the type stuff. Men typically can be carnivorous. Whatever looks like they want to take a bite, they take a view at it. Period. That's the truth. Now, here's the other side of it. When it comes down to who we really choose and pick and be with, listen, what I've seen over time in my experience, men choose women. Men choose the woman who prepares their life the best to fit his. Then he also, and the woman who serves, like what Jason said, he serves him best. Men that think of themselves as king, they want to be served in whatever dimension that may look like for him. That's what he wants, and that's typically why women find themselves saying, "Well, girl, how did she end up getting him?" Because there's an aspect about her that serves him, and he doesn't care what you think, what she looks like. He loves it because it's his woman. Perfect example. We talked about my man. Well, not my man. We talked about the dude, Derek Jackson. Perfect example. Everybody.
That's your man. That's your man, man. That's your man. You said it
right. Everybody clowning his wife, right? But to him, it was his choice at the time when he married her. There was a component to her life that worked for him. Now, all the clowning and everything that people does, listen, you can never ever say what you won't do until you sit under the mantle of that person. Think about it. It's one thing for us to be talking and pandering and saying this, that, and other, but if you're a person, you meet a person at this level, and your life all of a sudden implodes and blows up to a whole nother level. Now, this is when, like what like Dwayne says, this is where the discipline and self-control and integrity needs to kick in. However, most men, we get so caught up in that female fan worship that we lose it. And what happens is we get a little lost in ourselves, and the women will come on and here come this woman. And I'm just using him as an example, meaning Dirk Jackson. You figure guy was basically, he positioned himself to Mr. Perfect.
And all the women, I don't know about you guys, but I know me over the last 4 or 5 years, I got plenty of text messages with memes with his face on it. If your man do this, you ain't doing this. He was like the poster of correction for men from women. So the point is, and then come to find out, in the end, he's flawed like the rest of us, right? He's flawed like the rest of us. Nonetheless, I'm sure if he had his day in court to talk, he'll probably say, listen, I'm not, I messed up. I was a little arrogant. I got besides myself in the worst way. And now it's on display. But I mean, it can happen to any one of us at any time, because this is the culture that we live in. Not only is it the cancel culture, but this is the era of the receipt. That's what it is. It's flat out and simple. It is listen, you can meet someone and on date one, you better watch out for this right here. I had my phone. Date one, here you go. Even 10 minutes into the day, hey, Jason, pose for a minute. Guess what? It's not a picture of endearment. It is a stamp of proof of assimilation. It's letting you know I was here with you at this time. And this is day one of my receipts and text messages. Every little thing goes into the, and it's no longer about getting to know the person sincerely. It is about controlling an interaction with you to say, I can control this by undermining you with these receipts. Because if I can get you to a point where I can threaten your life, I can harvest your time. That's really what it's about.
Is back.
And so at the end of the day, men pick the women who they can sift through all of that and say, she's not into none of that, but she's just into me. We ain't playing these games. We don't have this foolishness. We're not at war or competition. She's about my life. I'm about hers. Period.
So Ryan has to get off. So Ryan, go ahead and follow up with that real quick, because Ryan has to get off, y'all.
I definitely want to follow up with that too, man.
I've been waiting patiently.
Hold on, Ryan has to get off, so I wanted Ryan to go ahead and follow up, because I know he has another engagement.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I enjoyed his perspective. I think he just expressed and articulated with excellence the mind of every man that's on this panel, man. So I mean, that's absolutely. We are living in the time of receipts, and so that's a whole nother conversation in and of itself. But I appreciate you, Charles, just releasing that. I mean, that was good. I really have nothing that I want to add on to that. That was good.
All right, Dwayne, hit it real quick, and then Adrian's coming after you.
No, let Adrian go. And I'll come after Adrian.
Okay, go ahead, Adrian.
So I've been waiting here patiently, and I've been listening. And what I want to say is, like, you got to understand, sexy is not a look; it's a mindset.
Thank you. Yep.
And a woman who is fine can be ugly by their actions. So you want somebody like this right now. This is me on. I come on, and when I do this, I'm on. I'm hype. I'm live. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. But my wife, I'm just Adrian. I don't have to be that guy. And that's who a man will be attracted to. And so when I talk about my wife, I'm attracted to her because I can be me. And when everything falls apart and the world beats me down, she's my light. I'm saying, I can look at her. There's nothing better than after a hard day coming to see your woman looking all cute and being nice and sweet to you. That's part of the piece. Because you don't want to come home and just see, like he said, your hair all messed up and everything. And I'm not saying you got to be like made up every day, but you got to be something for that man to be attracted to, something for that man to want to do more. He wants to provide. Because if he doesn't, he's going to stray. You know what I'm saying? He's going to stray if you don't provide something for him to go after.
Koffe, this man over here campaigning tonight. He must be trying to get himself a little action over here. You see this?
Well, you know,
nah,
hey, it
honestly,
is.
Bro,
you know, it is.
Honestly, brother, I agree with everything that you say. I'm just giving you hell. Yeah, I'm just giving you hell. You know how we do. But nah, everything you said is 100% correct.
Boo-boo.
Hey, I want to.
Oh boy, you silly.
Charles said something.
Go to campaign for it, brother. Campaign for it.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Real quick before you dive out, I actually thought we were on Eastern Standard Time, so I hopped on the live at 8:00 my time. But I did have another engagement. Man, it was an honor to meet you guys. I look forward to future fellowship and conversation. Thank you so much, Koffe, for the opportunity.
All right,
absolutely,
Ryan.
absolutely.
All right, Ryan.
We're gonna get you back, Ryan. Don't worry.
I love to be here. Love to be here. Take care.
Thank you, Ryan.
Charles said something so profound that I think should be addressed. And Charles, man, like you hit it, Adrian, you hit it. Charles said something, and I'm really trying to recall it, but I think I lost it, but I'm gonna try to recall it. I think what were you talking about after the council culture? Because you said something, it was a really good remark. And I think I lost it.
We live in the era of the receipt.
But keep going. Receipt. You said something about the relationship aspect that was really good, and I really wanted to.
Oh, he was saying that there's no fighting, there's no dissension. She's not into all that stuff. She's just into me.
Yeah. Thank you. So thank you. That's what it was. And then I think it was that's exactly what he was saying. He was saying she's into me, right? That at the end of the day, no matter what's going on, she's into me. And you said something about his wife. That's what it was. You was like, at that time, she fit his life. That is, when I say that's so profound, because I'm gonna tell you, I think what happens to some of us, and y'all can rebuke me if I'm talking out of turn here. I think oftentimes we marry people or we get in relationships with people. Sometimes it's solely off of physical attraction, right? And I know I've been guilty of it. But I think what happens when we start to get with people when it meets purpose? And if the truth be told, if the truth really be told, I want to unpack something here. I think that he married her because she was a part of his purpose. And this is what most people not going to say, right? Most people will be like, well, I want somebody like this. I want somebody like this. No, she was quiet. And that's what he needed because he was the face. Just like women who marry quiet men because they're the face. Oh, y'all want to talk about this.
He didn't want the battle that came with that.
He don't want the battle. He didn't want the battle, and we don't want to talk about it. So she still was what he needed. The problem was fame and attention galvanized him because he didn't have that under control when he got to fame, when he got to a certain place, that when women who he wanted all along before he married her, he was able to retrieve them. Lord, I feel like talking now. He was able to retrieve them because he had fame now, and because he had this money now, and because he had this clout now, and because he had this attention now. And this is something that we don't really want to address. Most of the time, while we don't necessarily marry a person who really fits us, is because one or the other person gotta be the face. And I love what one of my pastor friends said to me. He said, man, I'm A-type and my wife is A-type. What we had to learn was how to balance our A-type with each other. Most of us can't marry an A-type if we're A-type because we don't know how to balance it. Come on in this room, y'all. Don't get tight on me now.
I don't even know if it's about know-how. Some of us don't want to.
Some of us don't want to. Some of us don't want to because balancing that or wanting to, it speaks to humility within inside of us. And part of our issue is we don't have it. And this ain't just a man issue. This is also a woman issue. Because this is why, and I might as well go ahead.
Keep going.
They got to challenge.
I got my big brother, Prophet Michael Claiborne, backing me.
Let the church say amen.
Yeah, he backed me. I might as well go here since I'm out here. Part of my issue with some of this female empowerment, and I got to say it like this, is the fact that we're teaching them how to be powerful and strong. But what we're not teaching them is how to dig up the root of the problem that they're dealing with. So now they get to this other side and then this other relationship, and they're like, I ain't let no man silence me. I'm a preacher. I ain't let no man. And it's like, hold on. I ain't trying to silence you. What I'm trying to do is figure out how we can make this piece work together. And then on the flip side, us as men, we've been wrong because we are the brand or we are the name. And we meet this woman, we're like, shut up, be quiet. Sit over here, just back me. And that's not right. Everybody has their own individuality. I yell this from the mountaintops. We've got to learn that relationships should embrace individuality. Because when you met this person, when I met this person, they were individuals. Now let's embrace it And both sides are guilty because I know I'm a handful, but I've been with women who can't embrace my handfulness. So what they do is like, well, he's handsome, he's nice, he's loving. So I'm gonna be with him, and then I'm gonna try to tone him down. You can't tone me down because that's not who I was meant to be. Just like, come on, I feel like walking through here.
Dude, half the time when they try to tone you down, they end up
getting you more. I can't tone you down because that's not who you was meant to be. What we gotta learn is how to work together through humility. Koffe, I feel like running now. We've got to learn how to work together through humility. And it's a lost word in relationship. And this is why I'm nervous, because we paint the picture for provider, for sexiness, for the way they dress, for how they, but what we don't talk about is the root of the problem. After sexiness and paying the bills, we can't get along because we don't have humbleness. We don't have humility. And when we learn how to have humility, my God, I'm done. This the Wayne Williams Jr. If I was on Clubhouse, this the Wayne Williams Jr. These are my thoughts.
And not only that,
these comments are kid tested, mother approved.
To piggyback.
He said kid tested, mother approved.
Oh Lord, that was you that was saying that the other day. Oh Lord.
Go ahead, Pastor Jason.
To piggyback on what Dwayne said, man, I think that humility also is the root of knowing when it's necessary to apologize. That is a lost art in a relationship as well, because everybody, the culture has everybody in this defense mode where you feel you have to defend, and I'm not going to let you play me, you're not going to play me. But when you're dealing with a conflict, there's only two results: resistance or resolve. That's it. And if you're going to be with me and you're not going to leave me, you're going to be with me and continue to be married to me, date me, why is it that we chase resistance quicker than resolve? Because everybody wants to prove their point. Nobody wants to be wrong. But sometimes when you are looking at it from a perspective of being a bigger person intellectually, we understand it's scientifically proven that every man revolves or evolves every 7 years. And somebody was talking about that earlier, that you got to find somebody that's willing to grow with you and change with you. I think that's the missing piece, because a lot of people want to hold you prisoner to who you used to be. And if you miss my evolvement, if you miss my matriculation and my development, you're going to be communicating with somebody that's dead. The 21-year-old Jason doesn't exist no more. The things that I thought was funny at 21, I don't think it's funny now. Things that I want to do at 47, I didn't want to do at 21. So I've changed and I developed. And I think that one of the keys for me, and not just in relationship with my wife, who I'll be married to Sunday for 22 years now. For me, I don't like conflict anymore. And when I was younger, I was ready. I was like, what? You ain't got that. Now, if you come at me with that rah-rah, I shut down. I just and I'll just go on a corner because I've changed. And if anybody's going to be my friend in relationship with me on any level, they have to identify and respect the change. And that's what we don't see. People don't respect the fact that you changed. I know that's who I was when you first met me, but I'm not that dude no more. And if you don't respect that, there's always going to be a certain level of conflict in our relational experience, because you just don't want to accept that that's not who I am anymore.
Yeah. Jason, that's good. That's because it sounds like, in so many words, it sounds like there's an evolution. When an evolution happens, sometimes, as opposed to embracing it and being like, my man is at a whole nother level, we find conflict with it now because it looks foreign to us. We don't want to embrace it. And the thing of it is, it should be a thing where, ideally, when you come together as one, I know there's the thing of individuality, but it should be looked at like we have one GPS voice that we respond to, but instead we have two different GPSs going on in the house, and she, her life is leading one way, yours is leading another way, and we both end up lost at the other side. And it's just like, how did we lose our way? Because we weren't doing the check-ins, we weren't sharing our visions, we weren't supporting one another's evolution. Instead of, I see my wife evolve, I get jealous, I get mad, and I want to tear her down because this looks like somebody
who I can't control or get behind because it's different, it's too much, and vice versa. And so we have to get to a place where we just like, listen, if you married the person, they married you, if you're in commitment with them, then just pray and hope that they have your best interest. And when it gets to the point where you feel otherwise, have a conversation. Too many of us suffer in silence. We live inside of offense and we never open our mouth, but we're severely offended by someone and they treat us a certain way. So we live out those years upset and resentful, and it turns into the way we treat them, or vice versa. You know, we don't forget about the endearing things, forget about the sweet things, surprises. No, I ain't checking for you. Guess what? If I see the next best bus, I'm on it. That's the mindset we have nowadays, you know?
Yeah, because like I think Dwayne hit it when he said, you got to think about, you want to be held down. Your body changes.
Yeah.
You're going to go through trials and tribulations. And if you can't support me when I fall, you know, just like I need to do you, why am I going to be here? Because you're not making me better, because bodies are going to change. I have arthritis in my knees, you know what I'm saying? I have diabetes. I'm going to have these things, and can you support me? Or are you going to leave? When times get rough, are you going to leave? Can you humble yourself to do what you got to do, even when you don't want to? Because a lot of people don't want to do what they don't want to, right? And if you're not able to do what you don't want to make it better, that's going to lose that attraction, because it's going to be a resentment. Because when I was tired, when I was lonely, when I was sad, you weren't there. So now I resent you in my marriage. So I'm looking at you like you the enemy instead of, you know what I'm saying, my partner. And that's where things get dangerous.
And you know,
Absolutely.
sometimes people leave but remain physically.
Right.
Ooh.
They stay in the relationship physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they're no longer
Checked
there.
out.
And that's worse.
Amen.
That's
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
got to
mean?
go for that need. You got to be able to
Yeah.
humble yourself and do it.
Yeah.
All of that goes back to the reality of us as a people here in America. We really don't know what love is. Our love is contractual. As long as you meeting these standards, I love you. God's love is unconditional.
Right.
It's not about how I feel. And like what Adrian just said, yeah, things change. So then your feelings change. So if your feelings change, now you don't love me anymore. Love is a commitment, regardless of how you feel. But a lot of people, because, you know, the love they saw was my mama getting busted in the head, my daddy out on the street. We were struggling. They were sputting and fighting every day, but they were still together. So that was love to me. But that's not love.
Right.
Real love is no matter what we go through, we're going to stick it out. Real love is no matter how, I think I've said this once before, but there was something I was watching when Creflo was talking to Waka and his girl when they was going through some issues. He was like, her job is to love you no matter what you do. Your job is to love her no matter what she does. Because if you're doing that, you're not focusing on the negative. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Right. And as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do for each other, you stop seeing the negative. And that's the problem with most of us. We see more negatives in our relationships than we see the positives, because that's all we focus on. But if you focus on what am I supposed to be doing to make your life better? What am I supposed to be doing to improve your life? Because if I'm doing my piece, at some point you should be doing yours, and we won't have any problems.
With Jason, we do that because in this day and era that we live in,
we're gonna shut down as soon as Charles gets done. We got to go ahead and shut down for the night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We already passed our hour mark.
Yeah, it's safe to live in the eyes of the victim in this hour. People, it's safe. It's comfort in the victim role, because you get attention. It's a whole lot, and it's highly dysfunctional and unhealthy. But that's where the majority of people live today. And that's why I always say, listen, unless you make the decision to change you internally, you will remain a recycled problem until that decision is made. But that's where a lot of us are. We honestly dysfunctional messes that are reluctant to change. You know.
That's for sure. All right, y'all. Well, listen. I know we could go on for hours and hours about this ideal person concept, but we've come to the time. We're a little bit over time. So thank you for everyone that actually stayed the course with us tonight. I know y'all are used to us being an hour, but we enjoyed the dialogue tonight and the connection with these incredible men. Ryan had to leave us a little bit early for a previous engagement that he was assigned to, but we're super fortunate to have had him on with us. And of course, you guys, we will definitely have Ryan back with us. Dwayne has been just came out the gate. Somebody needed to hold his mule on tonight because Dwayne just, I mean, my God, I thought he was jump out of his seat and
Yeah,
run
it's
around.
coming out party.
And as always, Charles, Jason Williams, Jason Thibodeau, Jason Hendrickson, Adrian Woods, they always bring the fire to our dialogues and discussions. And we are just honored and privileged to have everybody present with us tonight. It's always a blessing to have men of our hue on the panel and really just sharing their hearts as it pertains to relationships. As I always say, we need to have more opportunities for the men to speak their own truth. And this is one of those platforms to where we honor them and we want to give them that space without being judgmental, critical, or trying to rebuke or rebut what it is that they've said is what they need from us, ladies. So I hope the ladies have enjoyed this episode of The Hot Seat. Of course, at some point, we will definitely come back and revisit this dialogue and concept and have a continued connection as far as it pertains to what is going on with our thoughts and ideologies of a person that we believe is ideal or right for us. But anywho, I appreciate everybody being on with us tonight. You guys were absolutely amazing as always. I really, truly appreciate you all taking time out of your very busy schedules to connect with us. I know y'all have a lot of different projects going on. When we get off of the program, every gentleman that is on tonight, they're going to put their information in the chat for you to be able to connect with them directly on their personal platform so you can keep up with the projects and the things that they have going on in the future. I know that Jason Thibodeau, myself, Charles Dixon, Jason Hendrickson, and Dwayne Williams are all on Clubhouse. And I'm not sure about Adrian Woods or Jason Williams, but be sure to connect with us on Clubhouse. Clubhouse, connect with us there. We have a lot of different rooms and a lot of different topics that ensue on Clubhouse. Dwayne has several projects. I know that he will be connecting with the fellas on Instagram for his show that he has with the fellas and the dialogues and discussions that he has for and by men. Of course, with Charles being a radio personality in Chicago, he has projects coming up. Jason Williams is a phenomenal musician, and he has a lot of things coming up. And he has another project, which you guys will be privy to in just a little while. You guys will see what's going on with Jason Thibodeau, Jason Williams, Dr. Adrian, and Jason Hendrickson, just to name a few. So you'll be seeing a little bit of new truth coming up on the stage real soon. And Pastor Henderson, you definitely want to connect with him. He has the All Things brand, which is absolutely phenomenal for your t-shirts, your hoodies, your sweatshirts, your hats, all those good things. So he has a lot of incredible things going on as well. And definitely keep in contact with Jason Thibodeau. He is a phenomenal actor and he's a great producer extraordinaire, doing some amazing things here in Texas and all over the globe. And then definitely not least, but last tonight, Dr. Adrian is a phenomenal leader and he has some great projects going on as well. You want to connect with him and grab some of the things that he does on YouTube with his Geek Squad thing that he has going on with his comic books. And believe me when I tell you, you'd be surprised the value that he's adding in that space. It's pretty phenomenal to see him at work. So anywho, I am your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown. You guys know how to follow me. You know how to get a hold of me and how to find me on social platforms all over the place on P. Koffe Brown. Everything is centralized. It's all the same. So you'll be able to connect with me on all platforms going forward and to continue in our journey to help build relationship bridges, to help us to go from good to great, from imbalance to balance, and from beauty to a brilliant relationship over time. All right. We want to have some longevity and leave a legacy. Longevity and leave a legacy in the earth. What is the Dash going to say about you? Let's see. All right. Good night. Grace and peace to everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the show tonight. We will see you guys back, God willing, next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, right back here on the hot seat. Good night. Thank you, fellas, for being in the building with me. I appreciate y'all so much. Good night, everybody.